Hi everyone, welcome to Community Impact. I'm Reena Agustine and I have this amazing lady, Yolanda Alvares, who's the empowered parenting coach. And today we are going to talk about parenting during COVID-19. What a topic, Yolanda. First of all, thank you so much for your time and thank you for this topic because I was in a get together at a family place, my friend's family actually, and I saw these kids who are 5 and 7 playing with their iPad. And I was thinking, and the entire time I was there, the kids were on the iPad. And I was thinking, is this the way during COVID-19 lockdown, every parents must have done this?
Mm-hmm. Great question and great observation, Reena. First of all, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be able to come and join you on your talk and to support the parents in your group. I think you have lots of parents and you support women all over the world, I think, isn't it?
Yes.
Knowing you, you wouldn't just be Australia, you'd be all over the world. So it's wonderful. Thank you for this opportunity. So yes, this topic is a big one. It's brought about a lot of awareness. So I always say that we can look at the silver lining. Every dark cloud has a silver lining. And yes, COVID has been a dark time for lots of families. It's brought up lots of challenges. But along with it, it has also brought opportunity to resolve underlying issues that we often just omit or ignore because we get very involved in our busyness and our to-do lists and engaging with friends and keeping ourselves busy. But during COVID, we've had to come back to the unit of the family and deal with and address core issues, which is a silver lining because it makes for closer, connected relationships and going deep. It's been a very busy time for our business because a lot of families have reached out to say, hold on, what are the missing links in our family? What needs to be done? COVID has brought about lots of emotional stuff for kids as well as parents. Anxiety has been at its highest among kids. It's a shocking number of kids who we've never heard during our time of the amount of kids that have that go through anxiety and are medicated for depression and anxiety. It's very concerning, and COVID has really highlighted that time and asking for it to be resolved and put some plans and strategies in place, and how it all comes back to the parent. And not in a way that, oh my God, this is more things. There's more. These are more to-do lists now on the parent. Already during COVID, parents have to manage working from home. They have to manage their homes. They have to manage balancing work life, and at the same time balancing or working through kids' curriculum, schoolwork. So it does feel like a lot. And
Overwhelming.
Overwhelm is the underlying word there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Overwhelm is a choice, however. Reena, I'll just say that out loud straight away. When we think that, "Oh, I'm feeling overwhelmed and the situation is asking us to be overwhelmed," I was challenged with this as well. And it's been such a big breakthrough. And I want to really address that parents feeling overwhelmed or anyone feeling overwhelmed is a choice. And we can see, so I always take them to my 3-stage process where you question the overwhelm, what is the thought underlying, and who would you be if you didn't feel overwhelmed? And how is overwhelmed serving you? Feeling overwhelmed, how is it serving you and serving the situation? So coming back to your question, COVID has been a very challenging time. However, what you observed with your family, friends, with the kids, a lot of parents have thought that this is the best way to resolve it, get the kids engaged in their digital devices. That way they've got free time. However, this is really a big step in the wrong direction, because it's leading to a lot of kids coming to be addicted to digital devices.
That's the word,
digital
addicted. Yes.
addicted. And like with every addiction, it has its drawbacks and long-term implications if actions aren't taken place to put a stop to it. I'm sure at another session we will cover digital devices. I think that's a very important topic to look at. However, today we want to talk about COVID, and we want to talk about how parents can support themselves and how they can support their kids during this
You have
challenging
prepared some
time.
tips for it.
Absolutely, I have.
Let's go with it.
Please also know that I can talk for hours on this topic because it's a big, chunky topic. There's so much there, and I'd love to get parents, if you are keen on how you can go further in this work, do contact me. I'm very happy. I have a lot of free resources on my group, the Empowered Parents group on Facebook. Am I
Facebook,
allowed
yes,
to share that? Yes,
absolutely.
Facebook group. I've got it in. I've got an Instagram page as well, Empowered Parenting Coach, and I offer lots of live Q&As where I address different age groups of children based on different problems for different age groups. And I also have master classes and web classes that I offer. So definitely jump on. I have done one. I have done events, free resources on COVID. However, a little bit about the challenge and my own. So I'm a mom of 2 kids. I am a single parent. My oldest is now 21 and my youngest is turning 16 in a few weeks. So yes, it's been very real for us. She's in year 10, my youngest, and I started to see signs. Of course, I'm lucky that I do this work so I can pick on the signs, and that's why I share. Pick on the signs. What are the signs? So your child starts to seclude themselves, keep themselves within their rooms. You find them on their digital devices, like you mentioned, for longer periods of time because that's become their world. And observing where they're resisting you, when they start getting engrossed and completely focused in their inner world, they start to resist your advice and resist you. Be aware of those signs because they do need you as much as they can give us the sign and push us away. Know that you are their tower of support. And even though they show us these signs, it is important to read through it that the more they resist us, the more they do need us.
So how can the parents approach them and talk to them? Because you know how rebellious kids are, right? So how can we,
Yep.
we don't want to enter into their privacy, right? And tell them that,
Absolutely.
hey, come sit, do this, do that. We can't do that. So how in a
Great
good way
question.
we can approach them?
Yes. So the way we approach it is we understand what is the energy we bring into our parenting. Often parents can come in all flustered and thinking they are being very nice and very calm voice, but your child feels your energy. They know if it's fear-based, they know from your body language, they sense our energy. Kids are pure emotion. Once parents understand this, that kids are pure emotion, we start to parent them from our emotion. Emotion is nothing but energy in motion. We connect with them with the energy we bring to them. And how we check in with this energy is what is our state. So my tip number 1 in COVID is to look after yourself, parent. Have a schedule for yourself. Bring joy back into you because it's going to challenge you through the days. Your joy levels are going to be challenged. There is something called there is an understanding that I have of collective consciousness. If there's majority of people around us feeling stressed and anxious, we pick it up.
Yes.
So we coming back to our own state and being in charge of our emotional state is important, not just to us, but to our parenting. So when we walk into that room, we are coming from our own joyful states. And how does a joyful state start? Start your day with music. Start your day with what you enjoy. Start your day with affirmations. Start your day with a prayer. Start your day with going out for a nature's walk. Start your day with your favorite music, dancing. You are responsible for your state, and you are responsible for the energy you bring in your home, especially at this COVID challenging times.
Absolutely.
That is
Hey.
my tip. Number one, because our kids are connected to joy. They want to be with the joyful parent. It's very rare that a child will resist a joyful parent. Because when a parent is resonating in the energy of joy, they are not attached to fear.
Yes.
And our kids resist fear.
So the first tip is look after yourself, parents.
Yourself, look at your own state and tune up your joy level, because it's going to challenge you. So you need to be that parent that your child wants to spend time with. Just sharing, yesterday it was the weekend and I was home with my daughter, and my daughter asked me, Mom, can we go bike riding together? She had her friend, she had everything she had going on for her, yet she chose. And I said, wow, that's the parent I always want to be, a parent that my child chooses to be with.
Yes.
And I like to think that I'm more fun than her friends are. I know that's not always true, but she
You never know.
values time with me. And that's what, and because I am conscious of my state and conscious of my joy level. Lovely. Tip number two, I'm just mindful of time. I don't know. I haven't seen what time we started. Sorry, Rina. How much time do we have?
5 more minutes.
Lovely. Okay. Thank you. Sorry for that interruption. Tip number two is schedule in, or have a schedule, have a ritual. So our kids
have a
need,
ritual.
yes, kids need to know, kids like structure. As much as they resist structure, they like structure, but lace the structure with fun. So for example, in my home, while we went through the whole, in the depths of COVID, like, Melbourne, I'm from Melbourne, and we had lots of times when we were in very strict lockdown periods. We had a time when the kids were in different rooms studying. At lunchtime, we all came together downstairs. We put music on. The kids scheduled a picnic, just leftover food. We put a picnic mat out in the backyard, and the kids would lay out a platter of, so even if it's for 20-30 minutes, they looked forward to this time, that as a family we came together and we spent time in the backyard, or we went for a walk together, we grabbed something quick to eat. So we had a time to connect, and they looked forward to the time. So we had COVID rituals during COVID. Every time Melbourne announced a lockdown, we actually got happy because we could go into our COVID rituals, and it included fun times, it included card games at night, it included, so it was all scheduled. And the other thing we also did in ritual, remember, we need to give before we can take. During COVID, I had a special breakfast pack that I would prepare for the girls, so they would wake up for their digital classes in the morning looking forward to what breakfast would mom bring. I had a special tray for them with different compartments, and I'd make their breakfast exciting, keeping it fun. It can be simple things, doesn't have to be hard, but keep it, make your kid anticipate and look forward. So every time Melbourne announced a lockdown, there was a bit of excitement because we did fun things during COVID. In the weekends, we had our own time. Yeah.
So schedule and have a ritual.
That's right. The third tip is emotional resilience, because COVID times do strain our emotions. Kids will be facing, I've had clients whose kids were bullied online, where friends were keeping them away, or they were, and digitally, a lot of things can be misunderstood, texting, because there's not that much face to face. It was causing a lot of strain emotionally. So being emotionally resilient as a parent is key to support your kids. So as part of that, I've got a 5 stages of emotional recovery that I get parents to do, and I'm happy for parents to reach out, those who are watching this either through my group or even through finding me on social media, Yolanda Alvares. And I'm happy to give them my 7-step emotional recovery. So what this is, I'll tell you briefly what it is about. It is how to tune back into your emotions, how to identify, label it, how to process it. The process is because all our emotions they exist within us. And the reason why they persist is because we are resisting. So what we resist persists. So breaking that pattern of resisting, but being with it, processing it, and rising above it so we can rise up on top to the emotional scale. So no longer staying in anger, frustration, sadness, disappointment for too long, but moving up the scale. And I use an emotion scale chart so parents know where's the next level. Okay, this is how I'm feeling. This is where I'm at. Frustration is where I'm at. What is the next? What's the next step? Just one little step. We don't have to run into being joyful and grateful because we might not be ready.
No.
One step at a time. It could just be acceptance, sitting with acceptance. What does that mean? What does that look like? What would acceptance say? What would acceptance do?
But it's so
small
hard.
baby steps. That's why it's baby steps.
Okay.
That's why it's just absolutely baby step. Before acceptance comes courage. There's a step of courage. Just deciding to be courageous, deciding to hold space for what you're going through right now, just being okay with where you're at. And what do you need to be okay with where you're at? Often we want to just overcome it and go past it. No, we need to, we can't be resisting. We've been resisting for too long. So emotional resilience means parents doing this within themselves, because that's how we can then reach out and be there for our kids. And as you can imagine, I experienced this with my kids, teenagers, girls going through big emotional ups and downs. Their first point of call is coming back to me because there is safety. They trust me because I am not, this is what I guide my parents, not to be unpredictable. Kids resist because parents are unpredictable. Today they're smiley, today they're fine. Tomorrow, if they've had a bad day, they're responding in anger and frustration because they haven't managed themselves. So let's take charge of that again. Through these COVID-19 times, let's learn these tools to be more aligned with ourselves. Let's use this opportunity when there's less distraction to go within. It is so worthwhile as we start to gain greater trust and confidence in ourselves. Our kids learn to have greater trust and confidence in us as their parents, which then gives them the gift of having greater trust and confidence within themselves as kids.
So emotional resilience. So that's your third step.
Resilience. That's right. And my program is also called Emotional Resilience for Parents, Raising Emotionally Resilient Kids. And depending on when this gets aired, I have a workshop happening on the 20th of July. If parents get to watch this, come join me. If we can put some links, I'm happy to share some links.
Absolutely.
And offer a free ticket to your audience to come and join me at Emotional Resilience for Parents. It's a paid event. You buy it on Eventbrite, but I've got a code for parents who get it for free. And I would love to offer it to your audience because I think it's so important for Queensland and South Wales who are going through COVID.
I think everyone, because the whole world is going through that. When I was in the bus today wearing the mask and walking around, and I was looking at people and I'm like, how the world has changed. If somebody is depressed, if somebody is sad, if somebody is broken up, if somebody's lost the loved one, we can just book the flight and go somewhere and have a holiday. We can't do that right now. And we
can even share from our expression that we are feeling down and people can read, but with the mask, people can't read what's going on.
Absolutely. Yesterday I was at an event, everybody had to take a photo, and I was just making a joke smile, but everybody was wearing a mask.
That's right. People
so
can't
it has just changed the lives of people.
Or if you are happy. So it's like a mask. We're all wearing masks, and it's time to, behind this physical mask, it's time for us to recognize the masks that we put on ourselves. And as we are aware of this mask, let's be aware of the mask, the false mask that we put off, and we need to start to become. So emotional resilience teaches parents how to be vulnerable in relationships with their kids, with their family, with their loved ones.
Fantastic, Yolanda. So look after yourself, parents. Schedule, have a ritual, and emotional resilience. These three are the most important ones during this period, COVID period, when parents are looking after their kids. Thank you so much for sharing that, Yolanda. I'm sure everybody's going to love this topic.